James DeGale not only thinks George Groves will beat Chris Eubank Jr., but wants him to. The IBF world champion is hoping his old foe goes all the way and wins the World Boxing Super Series tournament, so they can rematch in a super middleweight unification fight next year. DeGale makes his own homecoming against Caleb Truax in London on December 9, but already has one eye on 3 major fights in 2018, with WBA champion Groves, who beat him back in 2011, still top of his list. I'm not that fussed, but I'd like Groves to win because that sets up a huge fight between me and him at the end of next year. James DeGale. Groves and Eubank Jr. met again ahead of their February semi-final showdown. I think Groves wins, he exclusively told Sky Sports. It's a good competitive fight, but I think Groves wins because of his experience, and he's a massive super middleweight. We recall the moment George Groves and James DeGale clashed on the ringside set before their fight. We recall the moment George Groves and James DeGale clashed on the ringside set before their fight. I think we'll see him winning the first 6 rounds fairly easily. I think Eubank will come into the fight, but I think Groves wins it on points. I'm not that fussed, but I'd like Groves to win because that sets up a huge fight between me and him at the end of next year. We've both got world titles now. We've both got some good wins under our belt, and I am the recognized number 1, and a lot of people still say he's the number 1. So I hope he wins and we can get that fight next year. Quote, DeGale's showdown with American Truax is the 4th defense of the belt he won back in 2015 to become the first British boxer to win an Olympic gold medal and a professional world title. The 31-year-old was close to facing compatriot Callum Smith earlier this year, and with the Liverpudlian in the other Super Series semi-final. Chunky admits that any British fighters that fails to win the inaugural tournament could be part of his 2018 plan. Smith is in the other super middleweight semi-final. If or when I get past Truax and look good next year is a big year for me, he said. I think the loser of Groves Eubank Jr. will still get big fights out there, and we could really set up just British series because we have so many good super middleweights. There is Callum Smith out there as well, of course, and it is such a strong division over here. Quote,